Hi everyone, thanks very much for tuning in today. The idea behind this video is to teach you about our new piece of software called Flexor, how we'll be using it and what it does and what it means for you. So to get started, I'll just quickly explain a bit about Flexor. Flexor is a company that works closely with our phone provider OrbTalk, and it's a piece of software that has to be installed on each individual's computer, and it has an Apex integration with Salesforce, which pretty much means that it connects into your Salesforce login. And the idea behind this piece of software is that when a client calls into Crunch, if the telephone number is linked to any Salesforce account that we have on record, it will recognize who it is, and there'll be a pop-up in the bottom right of your screen that says the telephone number, who the contact is, the company name that it relates to. So it's kind of going to give us a bit more clarity over who's calling in. So if you've got a number that's not recognized, obviously we'll need to double check who the director is. It allows us to be a bit more personable when we pick up the phone. So we'll be able to say, Bob's phoning in, it's your client, pick up the phone. You can say, hi Bob, it's Sarah at Crunch, how can I help? As well as it will give you easier ability to actually start logging notes on what a call is about. So what I'm going to do now is share my screen with you and show you what Flexor looks like, and then show you how it works. So just bear with me one moment. So hopefully you should be able to see that now. So this is what Flexor looks like. Most of the time you can have it not there, but it sits down here, has a little green F when it's all up and running. Anyone that will have Flexor installed will show up as the list here. And the good thing is that if someone's on the phone, so for example, if Naomi's on a call to one of her clients and the telephone number is recognised, it will show underneath here as a little green phone, and it will say who she's on the phone to. Even if it's a number that's not recognised, it will still just show the number, and it will clearly show that she is on another call, which for transparency purposes, when transferring a call through to another account manager, is going to be brilliant. It's going to save us time, it's going to save the client time, because you can quickly see if the account manager is on the phone and either try and help the client out or try and pass it to another member of the pod. Obviously, there's going to be quite a few people with Flexor. It's going to be rolled out to all members of pods, as well as the advisors. So if you want to quickly find Cara, you could just type into that box and it will only bring Cara up. At the moment, they're all down as little black dots, but that's because it's early in the morning and no one's actually logged into their computer as yet. But when everyone does log in, it will change a status to green. As well as that, it will give us ability to actually set a status. So for example, if a pod leader is in a meeting, they can set the status to away, or if someone's on their lunch, you can set it to away. Again, just giving further clarity to everyone as we're all sort of spread over different floors and different pods and tables, to really see and understand who's available, who's not available, and save the client having to hang on to a phone while we try and pass it through. So what I'm going to do now is just give you a quick demo of what happens when a client phones in and the number is recognised, and then I'll show you what it looks like if the number isn't recognised and how we can actually match it up so that the next time they call in, we do know who it is. So just give me one moment. So I'm just calling into Crunch now. So it pops up here. We can stop this popping up on screen, and it connects to who it is. So I'm, as ever, pretending to be Marlon, and the number and the company that I am connected to is recognised. So if I pick up the phone, it says it's received call from Marlin. And what happens now is it automatically takes you to Marlin's contact. And from there, obviously, you can go through to the account. So straight away, if you pick up the phone and the number is connected to a Salesforce account, it will bring up the relevant Salesforce account, which saves you time having to type it in and navigate through Salesforce. Earlier I was speaking about call logs. So if you're down here, this is where you'll be logging the call, and it's really important that we start doing this. I know that we've been saying that for a while, and I know that some of you do, especially when it's an important call, but sort of general day-to-day calls, we really do want to start logging, so we can get an idea of what a client is calling in about, as well as, you know, when clients get transferred, for example, from Phoenix, you know, the new account manager can have a sort of paper trail of what the client's been calling in about recently, and also see any problem calls that's happened. So I'm going to just pretend that Marlin's calling in about expenses. So so as you can see, just put in the note box. If you want to expand the note box, you can do so there. And Marla's happy. I've told her she can't claim her Prada suits. So if I hang up, the call stops, and ideally hit save and close, but even if you just hit the little red X and then refresh the page, there you go. You've got a call log, received call from Marlin Calander, has when it was created, when it was last modified, day it happened, and obviously the relevant comments. So if I go back to Marlin Calander and I'm going to remove my telephone number. So yeah, if anyone ever needs me, my telephone number is logged under test 2 Marlin Calander, and just refresh and refresh. So now when I call in, it shouldn't be recognised. Oh, it has been recognised. That's typical. Hold on. So pretty much if a client calls in, it's not recognised. There is this little button here which says refresh associated record. So if Marlin calls in, we don't have her new number on file or whatever, and we say, oh, okay, you know, where are you calling from? Test 2 Limited, my name's Marlin. You would manually navigate to that account, and then you'd be able to hit the refresh associated record, which would mean that that number is then linked to the contact and to the account, and the next time she calls in, we'll know where she's calling from. So hopefully this might work. No, it's still doing it. Okay, so it's very clever, and pretty much even if you've deleted a number, still wants it to be associated. So it's just that little refresh associated record down there. All these other buttons we don't want to be using. So let me just bring it up again. So create a new contact for this number. We don't want to do it that, obviously. We just want to be refreshing the associated record once we've brought up the correct contact and the correct account. Switch to full journal view if you've got a very long call that's happening, and it's not sufficient to use this little log box down here. You can click that and it will bring up the sort of full page log like this, so pretty much the main activity history. So that is Flexor. It is going to be a bit of work to install it on everyone's computer, and we need to configure it to suit us. So that's sort of what I've been doing during the testing process, and Naomi has very kindly been my main test subject, and has been using it for quite a few months now, and we've had a few glitches along the road which we've now ironed out, so that when it gets rolled out to all of you, it should be a nice smooth process. So we'll most likely be coming around to each pod at a time, and quickly stealing your computer, and getting it all set up. So once I have set out the schedule for that, I'll obviously let you all know, and we'll try and do it at times where it's going to be as less invasive as possible. Obviously, once it's installed and you have any questions, absolutely do come to me, and I'm happy to run through those with you. But this is Flexor, and this is what we're going to be using from now on, and really hoping that it does help with the ease of logging calls, the personability with when a client calls in and it's recognised, so that they kind of feel like it's a bit more of a personal service when we pick up the call, as well as, you know, really helping the client there and then on the phone if their account manager is on the other line. So any questions, just drop me an email or come over to my desk. Otherwise, thanks very much for watching. Cheers.